25 cars, 5 teams. Get ready to see some cars take flight tonight. We've got some interesting vehicles for you. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda. This is the Junkyard Joust. Thanks for joining me. Here are the 5 teams that are going to be competing tonight in the second qualifier. 3 brand new teams and 2 returning teams with mostly new members. Let's head into the garage and see what we've got. First up, it's the Garbage Pail Kids, GPK, team of heavy vehicles. First up, it's Unaware Aaron, sponsored by Liz's Wizard Arts and Witchcrafts. Pile Up Kyle, sponsored by Ellis Wurtenberger. Quinn Quake, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Travelin' Travis, sponsored by Stump's Tree Farm. And Igloo, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. Next up, it's a team of undercutters, prototypical. These things look like they are going to be nasty on the track. First up, it's the Mazda 787B, sponsored by AJ's Performance Tuning and Spinning Triangles. You might remember the Mazda was the secret weapon for Junkyard Domestic Market back in Season 2. The Nissan GTR LM Nismo, sponsored by Sean and Patrick Hogan. The Nissan Delta Wing, sponsored by Wayland Enterprises International. The Toyota TS050 Hybrid No. 7, sponsored by Mr. Strathholm. The VW IDR, sponsored by Wolfel Fiber Art. Here we've got Alt F40. The F40 in the middle is notorious for taking down Creature from the Black Lagoon once in a previous season, and now it's back with a whole team of F40s. This Ferrari F40 is sponsored by the Turbo Ventures. This F40 is sponsored by Regal Radio. The original F40 is sponsored by Winnebago Trauma Clinic. This F40 is sponsored by Hey Hey's Hatchback Hangar. And this F40 is sponsored by Tim the Bear Neal. Rod Warriors are back. There's Slider in the middle, and a whole new legion of rods. The Subaru Impreza WRX is sponsored by Bion Automotive. Blastus, sponsored by Chemical Knight. Slider, sponsored by Hey Steve Productions. It's So Skinny, sponsored by Judy Collins. And Overboard 454T, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Shining Steel never made it out of the qualifiers last time they appeared. This time, they are gunning for the main event. With Nitrium, sponsored by Swedenborg Smorgasbord. The 2006 Honda Civic C, sponsored by Crow and Turtles Mini Painting. Nightburner, sponsored by Chome. Ballistics, sponsored by Sick N. 36 Chords, sponsored by Illuminati Public Relations. The rules are simple. Survive. Every car has to drive down the track, smash into the rest of the cars, and if they end up upside down or sideways at the end of a round, they are eliminated. Any cars that are right side up at the end of the round move on to the next round. In the qualifier, the match ends when 2 teams have lost all their cars, and the remaining 3 teams move on. There's always some weird things going on at the junkyard. Last time, a Borg apparently appeared, came out of a cube, and Winnebago went to investigate. Right now, the Borg just seems to be relaxing and is content to just watch the proceedings. So on with round 1. We are starting out with Quinn Quake for GPK. Quinn Quake is going to hustle Evil Weevil down to the end of the track, take his place at nearly the front of the track, and now he's going to take a hit from the Nissan Delta Wing. And no, this isn't no holds barred. The Nissan Delta Wing has a special exception, is able to go down backwards because actually that car can't go down in any other direction. Going down forwards does not work for this vehicle, so the officials have granted a special permission so that the Delta Wing can partake in the joust. F40, the one and only, up first for the Alt F40s. And wow, immediately goes off the front of the Nissan Delta Wing, turns over and goes sideways, thinking maybe could pull off some sort of elimination there. Managed to get the Delta Wing off the track, but unfortunately, this legendary car not able to make a recovery there. That could end up being an elimination. Nitrium now. Nitrium slams into the back of Quinn Quake, causes a minor upheaval. Quinn Quake now, curbside. Slider's up first for the Rod Warriors. Slider had a great season last season. Rod Warriors were just edged out by Mind Control. They came so close to making it into the finals. This year, they think they got a chance. And Slider is curbside. Back around the roster now to Unaware Aaron for GPK. To be fair, I do have my moments, but I'm fully aware of that hit. Slider gets bashed. Unaware Aaron tries to take Slider out, but Slider is not having it. Great recovery, backs into the crates, and is safe. And actually, Quinn Quake is in trouble up front. Next up for prototypical, it's the Toyota TS050 Hybrid No. 7. Let's see what it's got. Hybrid gets underneath. Unaware Aaron pushes him off the track a little bit, and it looks like Quinn Quake is actually starting to come back onto the track. Here comes another F40 for Alt F40. This F40 apparently just a tiny bit wide for the track and barely manages to make it all the way down, peeling off track pieces on the way. This is what the qualifiers are good for. It's a good way to find out whether or not stuff like this might happen. Ballistic now. Ballistic doesn't exactly go ballistic, but does manage to finally push Quinn Quake off the track to his doom. Now up for the rods, it's Itzo Skeeny. Looks like this car's got some undercutting ability. Itzo Skeeny does indeed get underneath Ballistic, but it isn't an issue for Ballistic. Flips right over and lands it. Great recovery there for Shining Steel. Coming down now for GPK, Travelin' Travis. Travelin' Travis does some damage. Unfortunately, the only damage he does is to his own teammate. That can be a problem when you've got a team of all heavier vehicles. They can damage their own teammates. The F40 and the Hybrid make it off the track in pretty good shape. Formerly used as a secret weapon ramp on the track, the Mazda 787B is going to take a crack at undercutting. The Mazda flies underneath Travelin' Travis, but the unintended consequence is his teammate gets pushed over by Travis, and it's so Skeeny escapes off the track. A lot of these teams accidentally taking out their own teammates in this round so far. Here comes another F40. And this Ferrari bangs into all the cars down at the end of the track, but doesn't manage to get any of them over, except did Itzo Skeeny get knocked over? Look at that recovery. A deft maneuver there by Itzo Skeeny. Up now, it's the 2006 Honda Civic C for the steal. The Honda Civic can't get anywhere, just plows into the back of that F40 and actually inadvertently causes Nitrium, his own teammate, to almost go sideways here. Blastus now for the rods. Blastus carves underneath the Honda Civic, pops it up in the air. The Honda is tipping backwards. Is it gonna fall? That is definitely not a position that it's probably gonna stay in. Here comes Pile Up Kyle. Perfect car for what's happening right now down on the track. Pile Up Kyle knocks Blastus flying over his teammate and off the track, and then gets curbside. And did you see that little move from Blastus? Just bouncing around and landing upright. This Rod Warriors team are very agile. The VWIDR. VW gets right underneath Pile Up Kyle, and Pile Up Kyle starts his own little pile up off the side of the track, upside down. Man, that was a nasty hit by that undercutter, and now that F40's in trouble as well. Speaking of F40s, here comes another one. This F40 does a little pushing, but can't get anything to happen. Cars are starting to descend a little bit. Nice hit. Shining Steel gonna send down Nightburner. Nightburner, what just happened? Look at this. The F40 that Nightburner went under decides to take a little ride, mounts the top of Nightburner, and just sits there. Overboard 454T is gonna mess this up. Overboard, oh wow, I didn't mean to mess it up in that way, but Overboard just messed it up for himself. Goes right off the track upside down, and the other two cars he had a shot at just fine. Wow, that F40 went flying, but it actually made a great landing. Little mistake there by the Rod Warriors. Up next, it's Igloo. This thing's got a plow on the front. It's for snow removal, but let's see if it works for cars too. Kind of worked a little bit. We got an F40 flying up off the track and going over, so that was pretty successful. Definitely a lot of plowing going on there from that heavy truck. Up next is a notoriously failed prototype, the Nissan GT-R LM Nismo. Nismo doesn't fail here, at least not yet. Bangs off the back of Igloo and bounces back to relative safety on the track. Gonna take a hit now from this F40. Or not. This F40 appears to have gotten wedged in the track. It's not gonna make it down the track. Speaking of not making it down the track, we still haven't located Baby Cookie. If you remember last episode, Cookie took a big hit and went flying we don't even know where.
I'm in the weeds! I gotta go!
We've still got search parties out looking, so hopefully she'll turn up at some point. Now the 36 Cord is gonna take a shot at that F40 stuck in the middle of the track. And the cord knocks it all the way out and off the track. Wasn't a good place to get caught. And now he's upside down and eliminated. 36 cord pulls up behind the Nismo and pushes him forward a little bit. Tough way for that Ferrari to find out it's too big for the track. Subaru Impreza WRX. The skinny Subaru delivers a shot to the 36 cord, sends the 36 cord up off the back of the Nismo, and then the cord makes a great recovery. That easily could have ended badly, but enough flipping around and managed to make it out alive. Final car of the round. We are looking at 8 eliminations in round 1. Let's take a look at the aftermath. GPK and Alt F40 sustained some serious damage on that round. Prototypical only lost 1, Shining Steel lost none, and Rod Warriors lost 1. Shining Steel really looking good right now. Nitrium gonna start out for them. Nitrium slots in at the front of the track, ready to take a hit from the Nissan Delta Wing, which is going down backwards again, of course, because it has to. Delta Wing lines up. That front edge has become a bit of a threat. Definitely took out a car in the first round. Let's see if it can do it again. Here comes Blastus for the Rod Warriors. Kind of looks like this car is wearing armor. Blastus cannot get under. I think maybe Rod Warriors had hoped that Blastus could get underneath the Delta Wing, but it doesn't work out. Blastus bounces off the crates, flips, and turns over. Eliminated. That Delta Wing did some damage. Can Travelin' Travis make it over that thing safely? Travelin' Travis, wow, what a hit! So heavy is that car that it knocks the Delta Wing off the track. Unfortunately, Travis has to sacrifice himself to make that happen, and the Delta Wing survives, though it's not on the track any longer. Here comes one of the remaining 2 F40s. Rough round for the F40s in round 1. Solid hit on the back of Nitrium. Nitrium is curbside in a big way. That F40's got to stay alive. Shining Steel got to be careful here with the Honda Civic. The Honda Civic knocks Nitrium off the track nice and gentle, and Nitrium is safe. Honda Civic's locked in. Here comes the VW IDR. The VW gets underneath the Civic, but the Civic is not getting flipped over, backs off the track almost completely. Might not be enough to be safe, though. Here comes It's So Skinny. It's So Skinny does some damage. Look at this. The VW is upside down, and so is the Civic. Perfect hit there by It's So Skinny. And now going under that F40. That car just did some serious damage to these teams. And now It's So Skinny's got to survive a big hit from Igloo. Get ready to get plowed. Igloo absolutely wastes one of the remaining F40s. That Ferrari is tossed, flipped over and over, and it bounces and cannot right itself. That is probably another elimination, almost certainly another elimination for Alt F40. This is their lone survivor. This F40 skids to a halt right behind Igloo. Gives him a little bump, but nothing major. Ballistic's got a chance to end F40's attempt to get out of the qualifiers. Ballistic cannot make that car move. It's stuck in the track, and Ballistic is also now locked in. We got a nice line of cars forming. The Mazda 787B is gonna mess with that line. This thing's going under. The Mazda knocks off 2 cars and puts an end to the F40s. The F40s had such bad luck in this match, and now Shining Steel's starting to feel the hurt, having had 5 cars at the beginning of the round. Now they're down 2, it looks like to me. Here comes Slider for the Warriors. Slider, ooh man, look at that. The Mazda is rammed so hard into the back of Igloo that salt spreader comes off the back of the truck, just breaks off completely. And now Slider is going under the Mazda. Shining Steel's gonna send down Nightburner. Nightburner slams Slider underneath the Mazda, and again, I don't know what it is about Nightburner. It just likes to have a car sitting on top of it for some reason. This is the second time in a row that's happened. The Nissan Nismo's got to be careful on this run. The Mazda is in a precarious position. The Nismo just does a fairly gentle tap, and the Mazda is still looking good, but still balanced precariously on top of Nightburner. Here comes the Subaru. Subaru, a nasty hit on the back of the Nismo, and the Nismo, catastrophic failure. Wasn't a great car for racing, not apparently a great car for the Joust either. Nice hit by the Subaru. 36 cord is gonna round out round 2. The cord slams into the back of the Subaru, but there's not much going on here. And right now we're looking at 8 cars having been eliminated in that round. Same as the first round, but this is round 2, so that is a devastating round. Not only a lot of eliminations, but we've also got 2 broken pieces that were completely sheared off of Igloo. The plow and the salt spreader, both. Taking a look at the aftermath, GPK are only in this because of Igloo. Prototypical is down to 2. Alt F40, our first elimination in this qualifier. Shining Steel down to 2. And the Rod Warriors now at 3. I go through 250 cars per season of Junkyard Joust. I would love your support to make this show on patreon.com/junkyardjoust. With your help, I can keep making new episodes, and thank you to all my patrons who currently support the show. One thing you can do that's completely free over on the Junkyard Joust Discord is bet on these matches. Not just who's going to win, but if a car sustains any damage, or even what the Borg is going to do is one of the bets for this week. There's a link to our Discord in the description of the video. All right, back to the action. Round 3 in full swing. Here comes Slider. Slider jostles into place. We are down to 4 teams right now. If one more team gets eliminated, this match is over. Shining Steel likes to start out with Nitrium. Nitrium slams into Slider, but Slider's not moving. There's a little bit of bounce back there. I think some cars are about to take flight. Here comes the Mazda. The Mazda, wow, I didn't know that was possible, but somehow the Nitrium managed to keep the car from going underneath it. Nitrium apparently has a very low back bumper, effective. Igloo's lost a couple pieces, but he's still in the match. Igloo, wow, that was a nasty hit. And the Mazda is flipped over upside down. Not an easy feat to do with that car. And Slider also knocked upside down on that hit. Somehow Nitrium managed to stay alive. Wow, devastating hit from Igloo there. Here comes the Subaru. Impreza knocks the back of Igloo, but Igloo is staying on the track, and Nitrium is trying to escape. Igloo on that last hit, really using his weight for a big effect. Nightburner. Nightburner pounds into the back of the Subaru, starts sliding it off the track. Nitrium escapes, and Igloo is in peril. The Nissan Delta Wing coming down backwards. Delta Wing slams into position with that front facing back. Gonna be a nasty jump for the next car to come down. And it's gonna be It's So Skinny. Can It's So Skinny get underneath that thing? Ooh, It's So Skinny showing itself to be potentially, I'd say, the MVP of this match. That was a great hit, and man, the Delta Wing just barely survived it. It's So Skinny just dispatching that car off the track, no longer a threat. But the Delta Wing is alive and is keeping prototypical in this match. Here comes the 36 cord, final car of the round. The cord not able to cause any more damage, which is good because that's his own teammate right there. And Nightburner unharmed. Looks like we've got 2 eliminations in this round. Let's go to the aftermath and see what we're looking at. GPK still got 1. Prototypical down to 1. Shining Steel still at 3. And the Rod Warriors lost their ace Slider, and they're down to 2. Shining Steel starting up first. Nitrium. This is round 4 as Nitrium takes his place on the track. It's a little unusual to go 4 rounds in a qualifier, but this has been a spirited competition. Here comes the Impreza. The Impreza can't get anywhere with Nitrium. That car has been difficult to mess with. Shining Steel got to be pretty happy with what Nitrium brings to the table for their team. Both those cars on the track now got to survive the big hit from Igloo. Igloo, a fairly mild hit there, actually. I don't know why he slowed down so much, but it was a good enough hit to take out the Impreza. Just gradually push him off the track, enough to get him upside down, and that is an elimination for the Rod Warriors. Rod Warriors in big trouble right now. Here comes the Delta Wing. Delta Wing just takes itself right out of the match, hits off the bumper of Igloo, and is eliminated. That was a really bad way to go out right there. Wow, back to the drawing board with that prototype. Can't even go down the track forward in the first place. Here comes Nightburner. Nightburner slams into Igloo. Really, the prototypical team only has one chance, and that's if another one of these teams gets eliminated, then we can go to the points to see who wins. Here comes Itzo Skinny. Itzo Skinny knocks Afterburner up over Igloo and onto his own teammate and upside down. Good job there by Itzo Skinny. That car, you gotta watch out for her. And as usual, the 36 cord rounding out the round. The cord does not take out Itzo Skinny. Ooh, wow, a tense moment there for Igloo. That was what prototypical needed, but they couldn't eliminate Igloo. And that is gonna allow GPK to narrowly survive and go to the main event. Close call for the Rod Warriors on that one too. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Delta Wing eliminated, and Prototypical is out. A team I really thought had a great chance to do amazing things, and they're out in the qualifiers. Alt F40 also done. Moving on, it's gonna be GPK, Shining Steel, and the Rod Warriors. Impressive victory by these teams. I'm hearing some weird noises coming from over by Winnebago. Uh-oh, I think the Borg might be doing some assimilation. Uh-oh, the Borg did indeed assimilate Winnebago. Winnebago has become Winneborgo? What does this mean? I guess we'll find out next time on Junkyard Joust. Thanks for joining me, everybody. We'll see you in a week. Have a good one.